Heavenly Father, Lord, help me to speak coherently. Um, I used to be verbose. I anyhow, I used to talk a lot more. The older I get, the the, qual- the more selective I am about what I speak about. I understand more now the 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 power of words, not just. I mean, let's put it like this. Uh, the Bible tells me the power of words. The Bible says that life and death is in the power of the tongue. And so that must mean everything in between those two points. Those who love the tongue will eat of the fruit thereof. Every utterance, not even formed word, utterance, will have to be made an account for, given an account for to the judge someday. Anyhow, sorry. Uh, well, one of my old schoolmates, I'm not sure which one. I guess we're going to keep that a mystery for now. Um, he wanted me to get to the dream. So, part 3. The dream. um, the dream is really simple. Like all things from God, very simple on the face of it, yet profound in the depths of it. And so, maybe to lengthen the story, or to lengthen this a little bit long, I'm gonna give you a backdrop. I'm gonna set the scene a little bit for what was going on in my life at the time. So, this is 2017. I had buried my mom the day before my birthday, and I was blessed to be homeless. Being homeless is one of the greatest blessings I've ever had. It was in my homelessness that I found out where my home was, my true home. Right there. That sounds all right, goopy, hippie, poetic, right? But it's the truth. Home is where the heart is, right? And it's a mobile home. and that's what I found myself in after I buried my mom. I went to Teen Challenge, and I was kicked out not too long later, and so now this is the dead of winter, and it was a very cold winter. And I went back to this trailer house that I was living in before I became homeless, and now it was sitting abandoned, no heat, no electric, no nothing. And so it's the only place I knew where to get out of the wind, I guess. So I had enough money for a phone card and a big bottle of booze, and so I proceeded to to drink that bottle anyhow. Now, I don't know. I'm not very good at keeping track of time anyhow, and so I don't know what date it was. Was it a week or two after? I don't know. I don't know what date we're sitting at. in this story, but uh, I was out of booze, um, so I was sober. Um, I survived that winter off from, I think there were about a dozen or more cans of frozen food. I heated up with little votive candles that I had taken from my sister. If it wouldn't have been for those little votive candles, I wouldn't have been able to eat it. And so, anyhow, I'm yeah, I had to sleep with my water to keep it from freezing. I had to go beg water off the neighbor and then sleep with it. And it was a good thing there were enough blankets there. There were if it wouldn't have been for all of the blankets, I would, I don't know what it would have done, but I wouldn't have stayed there, I suppose, or I'd have froze to death. So, this one night, whatever night it was, I had the most important dream, the most, a life-changing dream that I've ever had in my life. And it's very simple. In the dream, there was this person, this being that was in the form of a bust, like you could see from the and this being was made of molten bronze or copper. And now I don't remember if I've ever seen molten bronze or copper, maybe on How It Was Made, some TV show one time. I've seen molten metal, right? And you see the slag on top that air had cooled, and then the slag would have cracks in it, and behind that it would radiate, the glowing metal would radiate light through. And so anyhow, that's what it looked like, only alive and real, right? Alive, just this being was very, very, very serious, and the eyes were no pupil, just the shape of the eyes, and they were glowing this bright blood laser red. They shone out, and you could they were depthless. You could see into them, and they were eternal. And this being was very much alive. This image, right? In that same color, and in the same depthlessness, there was a number written on the forehead, the number 37. And so, no words spoken, nothing said, and I don't know how to describe it. The intensity of that being was unmatchable. And I was caught with one thought before I woke up. Is that him or is that me? I couldn't tell the difference. And then I woke up. Like, oh, right? Oh man, that was intense, right? It's night. The windows were blocked off anyhow. I would have seen if it was daylight, but and there was no. I ain't gotta write that down. Remember that. Amazingly, I was able to fall back asleep, without much trouble. And I woke up the next day, and the light was shining, and amazingly, I had forgotten the dream. I was puttering around, took a piss in a bucket, uh, looking for something to do. Anything, I don't know. I don't know what I did. I was just looking for something, and then I got back under the covers real quick because it was real cold. And then I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, the dream. How could I forget the dream? And so I'm like, 37. What does that mean, right? It's got to mean something, right? And so I racked my brain at it for a little bit, and then I'm like, oh, okay, this is nothing that's coming right up. So I'm just like a math problem, right? I'm not very good at math, but I did know that there was a trick that, like, sometimes when you let things go, not just in math, but like when you let a problem go and just like, okay, I'm just gonna let it sit for a while. Maybe it'll come to me, and it will. It'll come to you. And so I did. I let it go amazingly. So, and that should have actually been my first like tip off to I was different, right? Than I was before, because I was able to let it go. I was just able to. Now, I don't know about you, but so this I did think it was odd for just a second at the time. Like, I just let that go. Odd. And so anyhow, I just let it go, and went back to thinking about whatever. And after a while, I'm like, oh, duh, I'm 37, right? I just turned 37, and I'm like, okay, that's all. That's all. It was just I'm in an intense time of my life, and man, it's there. I turned 37, so it's nothing more than that, right? And I knew that wasn't true. I knew there was more. But sometimes things in our life are so intense, spooky, mysterious. I don't know. Take your pick. Sometimes there are moments in our life like that where we're just whistling in the dark, walking through a graveyard, or I don't know how to describe it. We're just trying to ignore um, the, the the power of it all, maybe. And so, what are you gonna do? I mean, my phone was done, I think, by this time. I'm not sure. Yeah, well, yeah, it was. Otherwise, I would have looked it up. And so I went about my summer, right? The winter turned into spring, and spring turned into summer, and it was, and I just didn't care. I was rolling with the devil, I suppose, so to speak. That's what this guy told me he was. I believed him. He was just down the road, and this crazy girl, and just kind of being free. But then things started getting weird. Uh, Now the Holy Spirit's so subtle, right? Until she wants to hit you like a hurricane, right? Or he, sorry. Both is right, but that's another story for another day. And so, anyhow, fast forward, I'm in this girl's apartment. She had taken me in out of the kindness of her heart, and we were, you know, um, you know, and I finally got ordered this government phone. I had it for a few hours, and like, oh yeah, the number, right? Now, I knew that the bust of the entity, the person that I had seen in my dream was Jesus. I just knew, and so I'm like, okay, let's see what this number's all about. See if there's something more to it. And so I Google search 37 and Wikipedia Wiki 37. It's like an interesting number all by its as a number as far as numbers go. And there's a phenomenon that surrounds it too, where people will choose statistically the number 37 at random more than any other number. It's interesting. And so I didn't see much when I Googled, and I knew that, I'm like, okay, I gotta go to YouTube. And so I went to YouTube and I just typed in 37, and even though I knew, I'm just dilly dallying around what I already know how I'm supposed to do. I'm dancing around it, and almost nothing, just some goofy stuff, some videos or something, music videos. I have no idea. I don't remember what came up. Not much. Not very. Some movie. I don't know. Anyhow, so finally I'm like, all right, I know what I gotta look up, and so I put in biblical number 37, and I think it was the very first video then I seen the 3773. So I'm pretty sure it was the first video I clicked on was the Living Word video series with the numbers. Now that's the dream. Very simple. Just like the other dreams from God. There's been a couple more. And but what isn't so simple is my life has been different since then. I've been different. The same, but not to I'm whole. I'm complete as a person. I had my desires changed, right? I used to be this hopeless romantic, like incurable. I remember when I was a little young boy, I would look at my older sister's yearbooks and daydream about which one of those older girls I was gonna marry and have a dog with, and God, I miss dogs. Yeah, but that was gone. One day I was walking down the road, and it dawned upon me, like I lead probably one of the most lonely lives a person could lead, and yet I'm not lonely. And I couldn't remember how long I had been like that. Completely self-sufficient emotionally. I don't need anybody. And I thought, that's very odd. That's not normal. So anyhow, and then it would be very difficult to describe how my life has changed. It seems like since then, I've been directed, so to speak, led. All of these strange occurrences, these I mean, I could tell you about all these things, but unless you were living it, I couldn't possibly explain it. It's like that. And I could tell you just say, yeah, so what? What's one I love? I was just one example of uh, the strangeness of it. So I'm homeless now. I'm downtown Minneapolis. I love, uh, I was a country mouse through and through. But I became a city mouse too. Uh, uh, Bit of a street creature. I'm gonna be a street preacher, hopefully for anyhow. But I'm I'm at this wishing well, and uh, man, I'm thinking sure would be nice to grab some of that change and get a bottle or something to eat or something, right? I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, I guarantee the guy's gonna whatever. Uh, like I'll just make a wish, right? Only I didn't have a penny, a dime, a nickel. I didn't nothing. And nothing. I asked a few random people, "Hey, can I borrow a quarter?" And I was sorry, man, guys. Hey, what? I'm not gonna go there, but I hit up a few people. I'm like, oh, whatever. I just want to make the wish and go. I was thinking about drinking that water too. And nothing. There ain't no water in the city, so I'm not gonna go into all the homeless problems and whatnot. And so I reached down into the water and I pull out somebody's quarter. Must have been a quarter, yeah. And so I don't remember what the date was. Maybe I didn't even look at it, but that seems unlikely. And I go to flip it into the fountain, but I'm like, something's not right. I was just the angle wasn't right. I was too low. There was a stone seat right behind me, and so I stepped up on top of that, and now I'm like 2 feet higher or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, this is right. And I'm facing right in front of me is the side of a church, and yeah, this is better. And so I'm standing there and I'm thinking, okay, what do I wish for? I mean, check it out. I'm homeless, right? My I got a laundry list of of I got a I have nothing. Uh, I'm not gonna start listing off all the things I didn't have, and so I I couldn't think of a single thing that I wanted. I'm like, come on, Josh. There's got to be something. Come on, something. A hot dog, for crying out loud. Your kid's back in your life. Anything. Your mom back. What? Nothing. I couldn't come up with nothing that I wanted. So strange. So finally I just, like, okay. And it hit me. I know what I want. And so I flipped the coin up and it made this. Now this is the middle of summer, midday. And this coin is shining as it makes a perfect arc up. Right? And I said, I wish for somebody else's wish to come true. In a second, I mean the instant it hits the water, the church bells go off. It just sent a shiver down my spine. Yeah. And it did then too. I'm like, whoa. I mean, the instant it hit the surface of perfect arc, right exactly where you would want that coin to land in the font, and the church bells peal. I don't know whose coin that was, but if I get to the other side and I find out they didn't get their wish, they did. They had to.